wish I could get the. If I can change the. What's it? The. No, I can't change the filter on it. Oh, maybe here we go. Oh, that's fucked up. Well, I just want to see the clouds that are in front of it because my camera's not showing what I'm seeing with my eyes. There's too much glare on the moon. It's pretty much impossible to. I wonder if I can just make it darker. Oh. I'm just trying to show on my video, but it's not really showing the way my eyes are seeing it. But my point I'm trying to make here is that the full moon is out. We have a totally overcast sky. The moon is shining through the clouds, though, right there. And what's happening, I want people to take note of this. I've never heard anyone try to explain their way out of this one. The moon is supposed to be 250,000 miles away from us. And the clouds are, they're less than 100 miles away from us. There's just, what's up, Zox? Nice to see you. I'm up late here looking at the moon. One thing I wanted to point out, I've never heard anybody else talk about this, but the moonlight travels 250,000 miles to us according to the heliocentric model, which I don't believe, but still, I'm trying to show that it's bullshit by this observation, which is like the moonlight travels all that distance, and then our clouds are between us and the moon here, but the clouds are way closer to us. I mean, the clouds might as well be us, like as far as the distance. I mean, the clouds are only a mile up or a couple miles or whatever. I don't know. A few miles to like 250,000 is like, yeah, I mean, so the moonlight's traveling all this way and it doesn't spread out at all. It only lights up the clouds right directly in front of it right there. And my phone isn't picking it up the way my eyes are seeing it, like, because it's glaring. So the glare of the moon in my phone is basically washing out what I'm seeing with my eyes, which is the clouds being lit up right where it's at. But my point is, and anybody can do this. You just go outside and look at the moon. If there's clouds in the sky, it's only going to be lighting up the clouds right in front of it, which is like, what the fuck? So the moonlight travels 250,000 miles and it doesn't spread out at all. Like it doesn't spread out at all. Like there's no, it's basically right there in front of the moon. It's just those clouds that are being lit by it. Granted, it's providing some light, some ambient light or whatever, but it's like the clouds that are being directly lit by it, you can see that are just the clouds that are right in front of it. And I would think that moonlight should be spreading out. If it's traveling that far, like light sort of attenuates it, like it doesn't, like, unless you have like a laser, unless it's like a guided, a focused laser type light, you're not going to get it just to be so focused like that, especially after such a long stretch, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think there should be more attention placed on this. Like, as far as just, I don't know why people don't notice this shit. Like, why is the moonlight only lighting up the clouds right in front of it? You think if it was like a beam of light traveling that far, it would have spread out by the time it got to us. Like, it wouldn't be still so focused like that. But like, I'm of the mind that the moon isn't that far away. It's as far away as it looks. Basically, it's as far away as it would be. Where it's lighting up that many clouds. I mean, it's not that far away. Basically, I mean, maybe I would accept hundreds of miles, maybe, but like not thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles. Like 237,000 miles is what they say. Like, I don't think that's true. I think that the light would be spread out by the time it got to us, or it would be a lot more faint or whatever. I don't know. I think it is the sunlight that's lighting it up. Wow, it's doing some weird shit right now. I wish my phone was picking it up. a really interesting effect. It looks like it's moving through the clouds. I mean, I know it's not, but it's really cool looking. But you can see the moonlight doesn't spread out at all. It's very focused. And now it's getting thicker because it's not even really lighting up the clouds anymore. Like it's gotten a lot smaller in my. Notice how the moonlight got lots. The moon shrunk. It's because the glare was reduced due to the clouds getting more thick. Now it's barely visible. But you can see it's only lighting up those clouds right there. It's not spread out at all. The moonlight doesn't spread out. It's like a focused flashlight or a laser. The moon used to be a sun. It's interesting. The moon is it's such a mystery. Like it's I wish I could zoom in on it right now. I wish I had my P1000 handy. Because you zoom in on the moon, you can see it's got like a little belly button on the bottom, like one of its craters or whatever. It's like a little navel on the bottom, and there's like stretch marks. There's like lines that all lead to that one point. It's really weird. It's not like the explanation we're given as to why the moon has the texture that it does. It doesn't jive with that. When in my eyes, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't think those craters are impacts. I think that's from. I don't think it's due from an impact. I think it's from an outpact. I think those craters were once holes where plasma was shooting out, and when it was a sun, when it was first born, it was first born out of the North Hole, and it was spit out of the earth. It was born. It was given birth. God's earth gave birth to its son. You know, it's like when you have a son, it's like you're giving birth to a son. That's the sun that was given birth to by the earth. And it's like it broke off its umbilical cord and went up into this, it's shooting way up in the sky. It's full of energy and life. It's way up there, as far up as it's going to go. And just boom, way the fuck up there. And it's whipping around. It starts circling around. It starts from the North Hole, I call it, and then it starts circling out bigger circles, bigger circles, bigger circles, all the way out, and then all the way back again. And it just continues on this circuit, over and over. And like it goes and goes, and eventually the sun becomes spent and just loses its life. It spews out its last bit of plasma, and it just goes dark, sputters out and goes dark. And there's like a period of time where it's just like a dark age, but the Earth knows to give birth to another sun, and it comes popping out of the fucking North Hole, breaks off its umbilical cord, and shoots up into the sky, and fucking boom, lights up. But the old sun that was up there before, it's still up there, but it's just not putting off light anymore. It doesn't have life anymore, and it's still doing its circuit. It still has its momentum, and the new sun gets up there and creates more of a. Whenever there's a sun up there, it's creating this momentum. It's like it's helping move the whole, like the sun's movement and its life maybe is what's causing all the motion up there, for all we know. And like so when the sun's up there, there's always going to be some motion because the sun's like so full of life and energy. It's moving around, and so the old sun, it's no longer lit up, and it's just this husk, this like dried up husk of a old crusty old sun, and it's like it's skeleton, it's like this dead husk of a sun, and it starts losing elevation, and probably there's a period of time where before the new sun pops out, it's like an ice age or something. But like during that period of time, the old sun sort of starts to lose some elevation and starts sinking. It's still doing its circuit, but it's just dark and it's starting to sink. But then when the new sun pops out, it goes way up above it, and so the old sun is the moon, and it's closer to us than the sun is because it's lost some elevation since it lost its life. But now it's up there, and it gets lit up by the sun, and it can eclipse the sun. It's like this. It's just this cool thing that's going on. It's an old sun. It's just like the husk of a sun. Like when you see sunspots, and it's like you see the plasma licking up around the side of the sun. It's like there's like these fucking bursts of plasma that shoot out, and the sunspot is where, like, I think some of these like otherwise craters. It's like the sunspot is like where there's like a one of the tubes and one of the valves, or just like it's not spitting plasma, it just sputters out, but it starts sputtering, it starts shooting plasma again later. That's why the sunspots go away and they pop up somewhere else. It's not always the whole thing isn't always spitting plasma. There's going to be a sunspot here and there, where it's just like one of the valves is clogged or something, and it's just like, but it cleans itself out and it starts spitting plasma again, But eventually the whole thing becomes spent and just becomes a moon, and the Earth gives birth to a new sun, breaks off its umbilical cord and shoots it way up there. Because it has like a little belly button and it's like a little navel. It's got these stretch marks that lead up to it. It's totally like there's something going on with that. I've never heard any explanation for that. It's just like it's not the story that we're given doesn't add up, and they don't even address the fact that the moon has a belly button. And it's just interesting. The moon's like tied to the woman's menstrual cycle. 13 cycles per year and 13 menstrual cycles per year. And it's got a belly button and an umbilical cord that was. There's probably a bunch of suns to be there deep down in the North Pole. It's like every time the Earth is built, it's given like a set amount of suns, and it pops them out whenever there's one that burns out. There's another one that's born, and eventually there's just going to be no more left. Maybe I think the Earth might be alive. Maybe there's some way to impregnate the Earth. Like the Earth could be like Mother Nature's womb. There's something that's taking place, that germinates this. I wonder how could that be working? It's like what would impregnate the Earth? Like the immaculate ejaculate. It was an immaculate ejaculate. The crickets are singing to the moon. I don't think the sun is God. I think it's a sun. It's like the it's the child of God's creation. It's been born. I think God is water. God is water. Water is God. In the beginning, there was water. God's face was above God's face floated above the water or something. Or I think God is water. Water has memory. Water can be like you can talk to water and it affects the way it's shaped, and like water is just like God. It's life. It's it's where life thrives. It's we wouldn't have life without water. God is water. Water is God. I think it's possible the moon could be glowing, like it gets charged up by the sun. And then when the sun's gone off to go light up whatever part of the world it's at, the moon's left glowing. I think that's possible, but it's weird though. I mean, it's like the craters. You can see shadows on the moon where the craters go in, or whatever the former sunspot holes or whatever. I think that, but maybe that's just because the craters didn't get charged up as much because they're sunken in. You have to get direct light to get charged up. Like if you know anything about how UV lights work when it comes to charging things that are luminescent, like if you have any glow in the dark paint or something, and you have a little black light flashlight, you'll see that when you charge that, like if you have something painted with that glow in the dark paint, and you take your black light flashlight and shine it right on the glow in the dark paint, it'll charge it up. So when it goes dark again, that spot that you were shining the UV light on is just glowing intensely. It's like UV light charges luminescent shit, and it causes it to glow. It's like it's a natural phenomena. Like So there's plenty of UV light coming off the sun, and it could be charging up whatever the moon's made of. I mean, the moon's made of whatever the suns are made of. It's like it looks like it used to be sort of fleshy, you know. I don't think it was always the way it is now. I think it's the moon looks like it's weathered, like it's been through something. Like its purpose is spent. You know, it's just like this sad sort of it's this thing that's just floating around. It's not really providing anything else for us. It's just like part of the clock, you know. I mean, providing some moonlight, and it does provide something, but I feel like its purpose, its original purpose, is been spent. Like it's just the remnants of what was. You know, it doesn't seem like it was created to just look the way it looks, and that's all it ever was. I think it used to have a functionality that it doesn't have anymore. That's the impression I get, my gut feeling when I look at it. And it's not like those craters are from impact. How can we never see any of that happen? How could you have a theory like that when you never witnessed any of it happening? There's craters on Earth, we never witnessed those happening either. And it's like the craters resemble dried up geysers. It looks just like a dried up geyser. It's exactly what a dried up geyser looks like. And that's outward motion. So it's like, it's no surprise that the story we're given happens to be like the complete opposite of probably what was going on. It's typical. Leave it to Dr. Bass Ackwards to fucking spot this shit. I mean, everything's fucking backwards, man. We got reverse fucking everything. Everything's reversed. Look at the fucking moon, man. That shit looks crazy. It's glowing bright again. I wish you could see it the way I see it with my eyes right now. It doesn't look like that on my phone. Everything's bass backwards. We just finished with our reverse pandemic. You know, it was like the reverse pandemic. Nobody says anything about it being a reverse pandemic. That's what it was. You know, when you have a reverse pandemic, it's like basically the only people that suffered greatly or died were the people that were lucky enough to make it to the hospital for treatment. That's where the only death was occurring. That's a reverse pandemic. Sorry, folks. That's not what a pandemic is. It's a reverse pandemic. Anyways, my neck's getting sore. I gotta end this here stream. Hello, can you see me in moonlight? This is my face in moonlight. Any questions? All right, good night, you guys. I love you. Stay true.